and like how lucky I am to get to play even the smallest part in some of these stories. This is part of the reason why I like my job. In order to be a successful social worker, you do have to have Good morning and welcome to 72 Hours as a Social Worker. My name is Anna if you do not know me. If you don't know me, then you may not know that for the past 4 years, a little bit over 4 years, I've been making videos on YouTube through my social work journey. So I have my BSW that I got from the University of Alabama, and then I went ahead and got my MSW from Fordham University through an online accelerated program where I interned at a juvenile detention center. After I graduated with my MSW, I started working at that juvenile detention center while I got my LMSW, the associate level license, before making a little bit of switch from the area of the field that I'm in, and now I work in a children's hospital where I've been for going on 2 years, not quite at 2 years yet. I work on the cardiac floor with little babies and their families, and that is what we'll be doing for the next 72 hours. I think it's kind of fun just to go through a few days. You get more content than a day in my life, but we don't have to go full week in my life, and this one has a little bit extra going on. Today is a Thursday, and it is my first day back at work in over a week because I just got married, and then yesterday was a snow day, so I'm going to be kind of adjusting back to being a social worker while being here with you. And so I work Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday we have a remembrance service that I've been working on for months that is happening at the hospital, which will be the last chunk of our 72 hours. But welcome. I hope you have a good day. I hope I have a good day, and I'm excited to take you along with me. Having been gone for a week, my main purpose of today was to get caught up. Quite a few of my patients that I used to have discharged the time I was gone, and then I also got quite a few new patients. And so I spent a long time today chart reviewing. Some things that I kind of look for are why someone is in the hospital. For some of my patients, it's just the fact they were born, and so then I look to see if they prenatally knew the diagnosis, or if it was a postnatal diagnosis, or if something happened to bring someone into the hospital. Maybe they came from a clinic visit, maybe there was an accident of any kind. Like, just knowing those things kind of gives a framework for why someone is there. And then as I'm chart reviewing, some things that I kind of keep an eye out for include insurance. Does someone have insurance? And if they do, is it private insurance? Is it Medicaid? Is it Marketplace? Just kind of to get an idea if they need any resources or need to talk about good options for them. I'll also look at if they've had outpatient appointments, if they've been going to those, or if there's been some no-shows. I look out in the chart for anything that might be a red flag of like an unusual custody or guardianship situation, if there's any child protection involvement. So there's a few things that are kind of social work-y that I look out for while I am chart reviewing. And then I do just what I call like a psychosocial screen that just kind of shows like social workers looking at this chart. Here are some relevant details. If there is anything that is notable or like a consideration that people should have as they're working with the child from a social work standpoint, then like I make sure to include that. And it gives me an idea of how to move forward as I'm getting to know like a bigger batch of patients all at once. It is so rare that I get boxes that I don't know what they are. This first one, I have a guess of what it is because I think it was the last thing off of our registry from Crate and Barrel, which is so sad, like opening the last Crate and Barrel box. Might need to use a little key. I broke a nail, not all the way off, just like cracked it in the gym, and I was so sad about it. But I'm not gonna do that while opening this box. Oh yes, this is what I thought these were. I've been calling them, and I don't know if this is correct pronunciation, I've been calling them ramekins, but I don't know if that's like actually right or if I just made that up and assumed that was it. But these little guys, we got 4 of them. And that truly was the last thing off of our Crate and Barrel registry. They're perfect for like a little scoop of ice cream or like a little snack yogurt. I love doing like peanut butter and chocolate chips in a tiny little bowl, and these are perfect for that. So cute. Okay, now I get to the ones that I genuinely don't know what they are. This first one is long and skinny, and I am like racking my brain Oh, okay. Actually, this is really good to have. It's for a brand deal that its deadline is coming up and I hadn't gotten tracking information from them or anything. And so I was very curious when it would be arriving, but it's here. It's from an alcohol-free brand and it's a tasting pack ×6. I'm actually very pumped for this. That makes so much more sense now. This last one, I think is a gift, but I don't know what it is. I hope I'm moving this right side up and not upside down. I was gonna say, it's coming from a very artsy person, and so I feel as though it was gonna be fragile, and now I do see a fragile sticker. Oh, I'm excited. Puzzle to get into. Maybe I need to use my key again instead of scissors. Oh, there we go. Sometimes I get critiques whenever I do social work videos and talk about things that aren't about social work, but something that we do need to talk about, and I hope I tell you it enough, even if it annoys you, is that in order to be a successful social worker, you do have to have like a fulfilling life outside of social work. So I know that you're probably watching this in interest of like wanting to see what happens in the day to day, but if that is your only interest, as you're starting, you're gonna burn out quick. I'm talking about how it's important, especially when you're a social worker, to have a fulfilling life outside of social work so that you don't burn out quick. And so I was saying that while people who click on the video are probably most interested in the day-to-day work, they should also be interested in the wedding gift that I'm opening. So you don't burn out. You should be watching this unboxing with me. This is like the anticipation is killing me, but I'll be good. I'll open the card first. Congratulations on your wedding. Wishing you many, many years of happiness together with so much love. Dun, 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 dun. Are you feeling the anticipation? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we got 4 of these little wrapped up guys. Oh, cute. It's like I'm assuming it's hand done too. Let's see. I think it could be. It could be probably any drink. Oh yeah, and okay, we got 2 colors so far. Can we make it 3? A 3rd color. Can we make it 4? Oh, cool. These are awesome. And the whole set together is so cute. I can't read what's on the bottom to like find the artist. But those are so cool. Okay, day 2, welcome to hours 24 to 48. Since I now have like all of my charts reviewed and I feel like I kind of know my current caseload a little bit better, today we'll be actually getting back into doing like social work interventions probably, would be my guess. I'm not sure yet what that is going to be. I originally was going to have a folder today, like an individual supervision session, but my supervisor emailed me yesterday and she was like, do you think it'd be better to have it next week because you might have more to talk about? And I was like, yeah, that's probably smart. Yes, that is. Today is Friday, but we are going into work tomorrow too because of the remembrance service. Yesterday, the kind of prep that I did was just like folding programs, very, very minuscule prep during the day. Most things are ready to go. But hours, 24 to 48 of social work in, we will be heading back into work. It is very cold out there. I don't know exactly what the day holds, but I'm kind of planning on being more like boots on the ground than I was yesterday. Now that I feel like I have my head back on, I kind of know the people who are here a little bit better. They don't know me yet since I haven't introduced self and services, but as far as chart reviews go and like assessing for possible needs, I feel like I know them better. I'm gonna get on to work. I'm gonna try not to freeze as I do so, and I'll see you when we get there.
What number are you?
I feel like I should film these more often because I swear to you, I never have as low of days as whenever I'm trying to like talk about it, whenever I'm trying to tell you like what it's like in a little social work life. But also like this is part of the reason why I like my job. I feel like there are some jobs that are just like dumpster fires. Like it's not a wax and a wane of like how busy you are. It just is all a wax. It just is always so busy. And today, like I know my people, I knew what they needed, and like nobody had really anything immediate to the point where I was able to help out coworkers scheduling like transportation rides and working on like getting prescriptions and kind of the nitty-gritty details in there, and then wrote a couple like verification letters to people's employers so that they can stay in communication about like why they're still missing work because their baby's hospitalized and things like that. And it really does make me appreciate just like a good work balance, especially because if you watched these videos last year in January, you would know I had a crazy hectic January month, and like there will be more crazy hectic days that are to come, but these past 2 days just were not crazy hectic ones. And having a 2-day work week is really great. Even though I'm going in tomorrow, it's not same, it's not regular. So really today was a lot of just kind of like wandering around, talking to people, establishing rapport. Like there was nothing crazy. I was not running around. It was just walking, just walking around, which was really cool. And I feel really lucky to have days like that. Obviously it doesn't make great content whenever you're wondering what I'm up to, but that's what I was up to today. So it's realistic. And then I have like some chores that I want to do around the house. I feel like that is a way of loving oneself, is taking care of the space you live in. And so I'm going to take out like recycling and trash on my way to the gym tonight. And then after the gym, depending on my energy levels, just kind of keep things are still recovering from the wedding. Let's say that things are very much still recovering. So I'll put whatever effort I can into that. And then tomorrow we'll talk more about the remembrance service that will be happening. Good morning. I am taking this morning slow. I haven't quite figured out my strategy yet for these remembrance services, because in my head I'm like, this is the day to be the most proactive with any kind of self-care. And last year, this is my second one. Last year it was actually on my birthday, which was kind of different. So we just celebrated my birthday like not on the same day, because I was like, it doesn't feel right to do like a remembrance service and then celebrate my own birthday. This year, because of like how Martin Luther King Day fell and everything, it's not on my birthday, which is nice. But basically we just arranged a service for families this year, like this current one today, is for families whose children passed on our unit between July 2023 and June 2024. And last year I only overlapped with maybe like 2 families or so, because I had just started in May 2020. Wait, did I say that? Yeah, I had started in May 2023. And so there was a couple families from May 2023, June 2023 that were at last year's service, but anyone beyond that will be at this one who chooses to come. And it's always hard because like obviously hospital staff like remember every single child, I feel, or at least I remember every single child that I've ever had who has passed. And also at the same time, like the loss is so not about me, but also like you get to know families and you get to know babies and their kids. And I mean, everyone's situation is so different, but I imagine that it is possible that this service could hit me a little bit harder than last year's, just since like I know these people and I didn't necessarily know last year's, and last year's was sad enough without me knowing them. But the point of it's not to be sad. Like the point is that we're remembering kids, and for so many of the kids and families on our units, like the hospital becomes a huge part of their life in the time that they're alive. Like they spend months there, which is crazy. And it's not everybody's story, but like it's a lot of their stories. And when your kid passes, not only does your kid pass, but also then like the people you see every day, the drives you drive every day, like your whole daily routine, like you just get removed from the hospital. And I have had so many families like say things like, oh, like we know that you can't remember every child, or like, I don't know, just like various things like that. And in my head, I'm like, but I do, like, I don't know, we love them so much. And so this stage is like to remember kids, and obviously families have had their own services. And so it's not to replace that at all, especially because it has been longer for some of them, but it's just sort of a, like we're remembering, we're celebrating the life no matter how long it's been. And families get to celebrate the life of their child alongside other families who have experienced also the loss of a child, which is something that you never wish on anyone, but the people who get it most are the people who have also experienced it. So it's a beautiful service. There's various like readings and speakers, but then also just like time for people to kind of mingle a little bit. I'm doing like one reading. They call it a daisy ceremony, where they just like read the name of every child and then put a daisy in a vase. And then if the family is there, they have the option to like speak a few words, like share a memory or something if they want to. And so a lot of it's just so up to like how the families who are coming wish to utilize it. And so that's where like it could be very different than last year, just depending on who's there. It could be very similar, but the big difference for me is the fact that I know these people, and I didn't know last year's people personally, professionally. So I have about an hour until I head in. Zach made this wonderful breakfast, and I have my coffee right here. I got my little Atlanta cider cherry pie flavor, which is very interesting. I really like Atlanta ciders. We really like do not drink that often at all, but now we just have like random stuff left over from the wedding, and I actually like that. So it's actually quite rare. I would not say this is a coping mechanism. I would not necessarily recommend just like casually drinking. I guess to each their own. Not typical of my habits, but the fact that we have it, we're like, okay, we'll have them tonight. The service went really well, and it's always hard because like any grieving family has no obligation to act like right or act like beautiful, or like there's no correct way to grieve, I guess I should say. And granted, I see like how families more publicly grieve because obviously like in the comfort of their own homes, grief stories are different too. But I'm just blown away all of the time that like I work with my families of just like how beautiful they are. And like obviously everyone has their flaws, but just hearing grieving parents talk about their child and talk about like the love they have for their child, it definitely was sad. Like it 100% is sad, but then also just getting to see people comfort each other and see people like try to find joy and love and like purpose in very sad things. The two feelings coexist at the same time, where it's like very sad and also it's not all like dreadful. Like it's not happy, but it's not just like all despair either. And I feel like I just come away from these interactions just being so like impressed and in awe of families and of parents who like obviously would never want to feel any of the things they felt or experience any of the things they experienced, but just like hearing some of them speak. I mean, this like got me. One mom was talking about how like she makes it through each day because she knows that her child would not just want her to be like sad and holed up in her house for the rest of her life. Like her child would want her to be happy and like continue doing the things she loves to do. But she said that like while knowing that obviously is still hard, but like one of the things that keeps her going every single day is knowing that every single day she lives is like a day closer to her getting to hold her kid again. And I was like, oh. And it's unique at the hospital too. Sometimes people ask this because obviously so many different people at the hospital are like so many different religions and practice so many different types of like spirituality or an actual organized religion, or just like have different beliefs even within the same religion. And so a lot of like what hospital-led services focus on, because obviously everyone brings their own beliefs into their experience and into like the ways they talk and everything, but hospital-led ones are just very much focusing on like, I don't know, like unity and like peace in knowing that a child is not suffering anymore. And then I guess going into like some like lesser universal beliefs, but I feel like things that hospital staff like tend towards often, both like in conversations and then like in services like these, is just feeling that kids are not suffering anymore. They're not in their like disease sick bodies anymore, even though obviously everyone believes different things about like where people are when they're not in those diseased bodies, but just knowing that like they're not experiencing the same pain that they were whenever they were earthside. And there's a lot of like joy and unity that can be found in that, no matter where people vary in the like specificities of that. And people also really come together on just like the value of love and of loving each other, and of if their child didn't get to live that long, or even if they did, but a lot of parents feel peace in knowing that like all their kid knew was love. And like even though they had to experience like many hard things in the hospital for some of their stories, every story is a little different, for the most part like there's also a lot of negative parts of life that they didn't have to experience. So it's just unique talking to families, and it obviously like becomes a very deep day, but it also just reminds me of like how lucky I feel to be able to be in the position that I'm in, and like how lucky I am to get to play even the smallest part in some of these stories, because I think in the day-to-day of things it doesn't always feel like you're playing a role, but then getting to talk to families like post-hospital experience and learning of like small things or small interactions that really made like a big difference to them and a big impact on them, then just kind of like fuels my fire to keep doing that. So I hope you enjoyed these 72 hours in the life of a social worker. A little irregular since this is just like a once a year thing, so I thought it would be fun to include in a video. All of my videos like this are a little bit different, but if you enjoyed this one, make sure to subscribe before you go and watch another one of my videos. YouTube seems to think you'll enjoy the one that's on the screen right now. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.